Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's your boy SC1, and we got some New York boys in the house with me today. We got Gold Coast Cards on the channel. We got Anthony and Pat representing. How you guys doing?
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yeah. So we had the pleasure of meeting you guys over at the Mint Collective, and at the Mint Collective, I mean, it was a great event. We got to meet several different people. How did that show work out for you guys? Did you guys get the return that you were looking for, or at least get what you were looking for out of the Mint?
Yeah, we made a lot of great connects like yourself and, several others. And just, getting our name out there, meeting lots of people. I thought it was a great time. Awesome event overall.
Yeah.
How drunk did you guys get?
It's hard waking up.
You don't want to know.
Yeah, so we're gonna have a replay of your a break of your guys in the background replaying, and it looks like we're breaking Mosaic Hobby. So before I get into the products and all that stuff, tell us a little bit about yourself. It seems like you guys have a very similar story as to us. So let's take it to Anthony. Give us a little bit about yourself and how you know Pat.
So me and Pat, we grew up together. We've been friends since elementary school. Played sports together while we were younger. And when I got home later on, after I was out for a few years in the military, got home, really hit it off with Pat and Steven. And how we got started in cards, we were just hanging out. We never really got into group breaks much. We were more of like personal collectors, PCs. And then we just drinking beers, watching on YouTube group breaks going on. We're like, wow, this is awesome. Imagine it's us doing it, seeing all these cards, and we get to actually touch them instead of spending all this money for. And it gets expensive. Spending all this money for a couple cards, we can actually do the group breaks and see all these cards firsthand.
Oh, awesome. So both you guys are collectors, are childhood friends. So Pat, what if you had one sport to PC, what would it be? Would it be football? Would it be basketball?
I feel like lately my roots is baseball. That's what got me into it. Derek Jeter cards, Mariano, Barry Bonds. So deep in my heart, it's always gonna be baseball. But I've been dabbling with football and basketball lately, just because it's become so much more popular. But baseball's it'll always have a special place in my heart.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not a Yankee fan, as you guys can see. I don't know what gave it away. I'm from Chicago, but Derek Jeter is one of those just generational players. Like watching Peyton Manning, watching Tom Brady. Those are just players that you're just inspired to be able to watch and be able to watch their careers. So are both you guys Yankee fans, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
So I always ask every Yankee this question: who's a greater Yankee in your book, Mariano or Derek Jeter? If you had to choose one and the other one can no longer exist, which career would you choose?
If you can.
I just say Mariano because he's the greatest closer to ever play the game.
Yeah, that's tough, man. It's I'd go Jeter to stay because he's not by any means he's not the best player of all time ever, but it's just that's who I had.
Class act.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and for me, I got asked that question if I were to think of who's Mr. Cub, and I have to say the last decade, I think Anthony Rizzo actually took Mr. Cub title for me. And I was gonna say I grew up in Chicago, a block away from Wrigley Field. You can see the back of the scoreboard from my old house. And so
that's awesome.
Yeah, until Rizzo, Ryne Sandberg was my dude. Ryne Sandberg, and then it was Greg Maddux, and then we didn't pay him money, he left. But when Rizzo came around and what he did for the fan base and for the city, it's such a good guy, man. He's just really, really cool. I'm happy for you guys that he's finally kicking butt there. It's unfortunate he couldn't do those numbers the last 3 years, but hey, I'm not bitter.
Yeah.
So tell me, how long have you guys been breaking for?
For 2-3 years, right?
Over 2 years now. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. And on you guys only been on YouTube, or do you guys actually stream to other platforms as well?
Predominantly YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube. We just started on Whatnot a few weeks ago, so we're trying to build that and like to get onto Twitch eventually.
Nice. Yeah. So explain to me on Whatnot. We just got on Drip, as I was telling you guys earlier, and Drip, Whatnot, Loop, they're all kind of similar kind of platforms. And for you guys seem like you have the similar style of breaking as us, where you list breaks, you list them for sale, people buy them, and you go about it that way. Did you guys find struggles getting onto a platform like that, knowing that you had kind of a foundation the way you guys did your breaks? Was it a hard transition moving into Whatnot?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's still hard.
It's because it's more fill on the spot as opposed to, you have your people where they're gonna buy whatever teams beforehand. So it's really it's like not that predictable, until you grow like a base on that platform.
Yeah, I'm an old guy, man, and I joined when we downloaded the app. I don't know if you guys remember. I downloaded the app at the Mint. I actually won a blaster, and that was the first time I ever jumped on the platform. And my very first jump on the platform, I jumped in at some random guy's channel, and I was just like, I had like ADHD. I was just like looking around. There was so much happening. I was so confused. What was going on? It was like, are we breaking? Are we selling? Are we not breaking? I see an auction. Like, what's going on right now?
Yeah. The cards.
Yeah.
I like the cards with the random teams. So it's all like, what's going on?
So it's good to know it's not just me. So when you guys started out breaking, like, how did you guys organically grow your group? Like, where'd you start posting your breaks? Was it through Facebook? Was it a Twitter? Do you guys have a website? Like, how did that all start from you guys?
Trying to think back then. We had a website first, and then we were posting Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and obviously in the beginning it was slow to fill, but as we kept on filling and you just do the right thing by people, your user base starts to grow, and it
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
in the very beginning, we were on from 8:30 Eastern to 2 in the morning Eastern, and we had this thing where if anything goes at night, it ships next day, no matter what time it is.
I see some gold. On that video. What is that?
Oh yeah, this was you'll see.
Is that a Jamar?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
That's a nice pull. What was that number? The 25?
10.
Ooh. How did you guys like
Yeah,
Mosaic?
so CC
I
hit
love
that
Mosaic.
card. He also hit a Trey Lance in the same break. Autograph.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, super like crazy break for him. That was so much fun.
We pulled out of Mosaic. We pulled a gold Trevor Lawrence auto.
Wow.
Number to 10. Yeah, I mean, and then
That's sick.
Nice.
I think the biggest card we ever pulled on channel was probably recently on the Phoenix release. We pulled a Justin Fields auto, number to 10, and I think I think it's going for like $2,000 right now. And then I would have to say the close second card we've ever pulled. We pulled last year. We pulled a downtown Pat Tillman. So here's a funny story about that. Now downtowns, back then they were case hits, right? It just seems like, I don't know if there's just a lot more cases, but you see more downtowns, right? So, you go through your process, you list your teams for sale, all that stuff, and we had unsold teams. So we turn on the cameras, we're on stream, we're like, hey, we normally sell unsold teams, depending on what it is. We start the bids at $7. Arizona Cardinals was one of them because no one wants to buy the Arizona Cardinals. One of the guys goes, I'll buy it for $7, and he pulls the downtown Pat Tillman. Can you imagine? $7 investment, and at the time it was $800 raw. So
Jeez.
yeah, I don't know what he wound up doing with the card, but geez, that's one of the success stories. So on football breaks and product and all that stuff, what would you guys say is your favorite product that you just like to break?
I love Mosaic personally, and I'm sorry.
Oh no, I like Optic is my favorite across all sports. I just love the look of Optic.
Yeah, I love Mosaic. I love the feel of the cards of Mosaic. If I have one complaint about Mosaic, I just feel like they just overload on the Hall of Famers. Like really, really bad. We bought a first off the line. We got 2 Mosaic hobbies on first off the line, and I wound up pulling like the green swirls, which is like the first off the line exclusive. I pulled a Chris Long green swirl, and then like a pink swirl Ryan Fitzpatrick, and it's like, this is what you wasted the pink swirls on. It's like, come on, man. So, in terms of breaking sports and all that stuff, is football kind of like your primarily sport? If you guys had to choose to break a sport, would that be the sport you break?
Yeah.
Yeah, for me personally, it'd be football. Basketball, close second.
Interesting. So it's kind of weird, and what I love talking about with different breakers is, different groups are different, right? Everybody has their own group, and everyone has like a particular group. But for whatever reason in our group, basketball is like usually a harder time to fill. I don't know what it is in the water, but basketball usually is a harder break for us to fill. Football, easy. Baseball, snap of a finger. But when it comes to basketball, it fills, but it doesn't really feel like that. Do you guys see those challenges with some sports?
Yeah, I would say. Actually, funny enough, baseball is like probably our hardest. Football is like super easy. Basketball is middle.
Right behind football.
Yeah.
Got you. So when you guys break, I'm looking at the camera and all that stuff. So there's only one guy breaking, handling your breaks tonight, right? Or is there is it a team event?
It's a one-man show.
Got you. So one-man show. How hard is it to sort and ship?
It gets time consuming. I mean, that happens behind the scenes, so it really depends.
Yeah.
Yeah, like big release
really
nights, like where we could go through like 1 or 2 cases in a night, let's say. That can be a little crazy. But like for regular nights, like where it's just one break or a couple personals, it's not, anything crazy. And when we know we have a lot, we usually help each other out as well. So.
Oh, that's cool.
It's nice.
So
it's a nice balance.
So you guys are purely online, like you guys don't have a storefront or anything like that?
Yeah, just online.
Nice. So right now, with the way you guys list your breaks, do you guys list your breaks mainly through social media still? Or do you actually drive everybody to a website? Like, if I were to buy into one of your breaks, well, I have bought into a couple of your guys' breaks before, but if I were to go into a break, what would you say would be the easiest way to go on? Just wait for you guys to go live and buy a team live? Or trying to do like a pre-sale before you guys turn on the cameras?
Through our website, honestly.
Yeah, it's goldcoastcards.com. And any break, like it's better to get them before we go live, because obviously the more desirable teams will sell before we go live that night.
Got you. So on the hobby itself, we all know the Fanatics takeover's coming and all that stuff. Like, how are you guys feeling about it?
I'm not going to stress over things that haven't happened and things I can't control. So we'll take it in stride when it does happen.
Yeah. Well, I'm also excited to see some Topps licensed product with bringing back Topps Chrome basketball and football. Like if they can bring back some old school products that we grew up with, and do it right, like that's pretty exciting for the hobby as a whole as well.
Yeah, and I mean, me personally, when initially the news was gave out, I mean, a lot of breakers, including myself, were like, oh my god, what's going to happen? But as I start dissecting and thinking about it, I mean, I think it's actually going to be really, really good for breakers and our space, because I firmly believe that what they're trying to do is they're inserting us into their database, into their fan database, and they spent what, $70 million on the Topps acquisition. I don't know many people that are willing to spend $70 million to kind of take a hobby. You know what I mean? Someone spending $70 million, they're going to want to make sure that they're actually growing something than just. I mean, it'd be nice to have a $70 million write-off, but you know, but the way I kind of look at it, I think it's actually gonna bring more opportunity to us breakers. I mean, it could just be being overzealous, but the way I kind of look at it, maybe we start leading to a space where breakers have different allocation than what hobby shops actually do. And like right now, you have hobby shops, you have retail products, and there's only retail exclusive product, and so I can see that kind of happening. Now, can I confirm it? No, I'm not Fanatics, but that's just my inclination is. I don't think it's anything to be scared about. I actually am kind of excited for it, and for it to grow. So tell me, as far as you guys' setup, you guys break, you guys list on your website and all that stuff. You guys do attend shows. So are you guys attending shows very often? Like, how's the Mint Collective happen? Was that your first show you ever set up at?
Yeah, that was the first time we set up. We had gone to nationals before and other like smaller shows that they do locally, but as far as setting up with a booth at a show, that was the first time. Just trying to get our feet wet, and hopefully we can make it to nationals this year because it's right down the road from us.
Yeah. Did you guys go last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to.
Yeah, last year was great. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but geez, I walked so many steps. It was ridiculous on how many steps I walked. I mean, by the time I got to my hotel room, I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to go take a shower, go to sleep, because it was like every day was like 15 to 16,000 steps. Just overloaded, right? Just overloaded. What's this swagger Kenny Galladay? So, in terms of like current product and current what are we talking about here? Current product and how Panini is doing it right now. What's your take on them kind of pushing back the product the way they are? Like, for instance, they just recently pushed back Prism. I think Prism is out to like June 3rd or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So, what's your guys' take on that? Like, I kind of just feel like they're gonna start overlapping product.
And you want to go? Or?
I mean, go ahead, Pat. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
to me, I think it's obviously it's a little weird because you're still coming out with last year's class when we just had the draft a few weeks ago. But at the same time, I don't know if it might work out better just in the sense that because this year's draft you only had one quarterback go really early, and then Willis didn't go until the later rounds. So having a draft class, with product coming out with that many quarterbacks might like be beneficial just to have things that people are interested in opening.
There's that Trey Lance that's being pulled right now.
Oh yeah.
That's a silver Trey Lance auto?
Yep.
Wow. And
should be right.
You said the same person won the same card?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he had a break, man.
Good God. And just like in breaks, I mean, sometimes you just have it, and sometimes it just goes cold. But when sometimes a hot hand happens, it's like, wow, the amount of cards that one can pull. Like Phoenix, we broke a half case of Phoenix on its release. When was it? A couple weeks ago. And one person never bought into our breaks before, purchased the Jacksonville Jaguars. We pulled basically every variation of T-Law, auto, insert. I mean, you name it, we pulled it. He bought every break. We did 4 breaks of it. He bought into every break, and he hit T-Law something on every break. And it wasn't just like base T-Law. And what sucked about it was that the person that bought into, we had different buyers buying into the Pats. Not one Mac Jones was even pulled in 8 boxes.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, just like oh.
Yeah, it hurt.
Yeah, but that's just the way it goes, right? I mean, you buy.
That's
So, like, when you guys
Funny,
are
sometimes when you buy like half of a case of one team and it hits big in the first half, you're like, oh, there's no way, and then like it just ends up being loaded with 1 or 2 teams only. Like,
yeah, it was just really, really weird the way it happened. We did we pulled I think maybe 1 or 2 base Jamars. We pulled 1 base Justin Fields, but the T Laws weren't even bases. It was like an orange. It was an auto. It was I think we pulled the green. Like there were so many different variations of T Law. He walked away with maybe like I think 8 T Laws, 9 T Laws from the weekend. I've never seen anything like that personally.
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's very, very awesome. So when that happens on your guys' end, do you guys deal with do you guys deal with some people that jump on and get really, really pissed off and start yelling at you guys? You know how the internet can be. Kind of like it's your own fault. Like, how do you guys deal with that negativity when it comes at you?
Honestly, we've been very blessed. We have a great group of guys that break with us. Like we've done giveaways before. We gave away drawing a blank of what we gave away. It was a jersey. And the guy wasn't even a fan of the team, so he knew another guy in our break was a fan. He's like, "Oh, just give it to so and so." We've been very lucky with all the guys we have in our breaks.
Oh, nice. So wait, so are you guys Jets or I see a Giants fans? You guys are both Giant fans, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you guys feel about the draft for the Giants this year?
I thought it was great.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Very happy.
Yeah, I've heard mixed emotions on it. I feel bad for the Giants because not that Daniel Jones is a bad quarterback. I don't think he was offered a lot of pieces to be successful. And who would have known that Saquon was going to be basically injured every freaking year, right? Like,
yeah.
That's for me. That was more heartbreaking than anything because I thought Saquon was going to be the next big thing into the league. I think we all did, right?
Yeah, he was a stud at Penn State. I was covering all those second half bets in Penn State when Saquon was there.
Oh yeah, he was unreal.
It's the best.
And then he comes into the league, and I think he didn't even make it into I think he did like the first 2 games, and then got injured, tore ACL or something. Yeah.
Very disappointing.
Yeah, very, very sad when that happened. So it's one of those. It's one of those, like, I get it. It kind of sucks in terms of his rookie cards. Us in the hobby, it's kind of like everyone got really high on him. And it unfortunately he didn't pan out. But it just really sucks because I thought he was going to be the real deal, man. And not that he's not. It's just his body's just not holding up, right?
Yeah. Hopefully this year something just maybe it's just one of those things where it just all works out perfect, but we'll see.
So what do you think is going to happen to Daniel Jones?
I think he's done after this year.
You think he's still going to be your starter at this year?
This year? Yeah, unfortunately. But we don't have anyone else. I mean, we're stuck with him. There's no better option at the moment.
What if some weird reason he gets traded to Cleveland for Baker Mayfield? Would you accept Baker?
Yeah. Over Daniel Jones?
Yeah, we'd try it out.
So I always ask, my buddy's a big New York Giant fan, and I always give him hell. But what are your guys' take from New Yorkers? What are your guys' takes on Eli Manning? Did you love Eli?
I was a big Eli guy.
Yeah.
Big Eli guy. I mean, didn't perform the way you wanted to towards the end, but 2 Super Bowls against the Pats.
Yeah, I mean, 2 Super Bowls, an MVP. Well, he won MVP in that Super Bowl too. I mean, I'll never forget because they went undefeated. He was getting pulled down. I don't know how he muscled that ball over David Tyree, and the whole helmet catch. I don't know how he was able to muscle it out, but I had Eli Manning on fantasy football, my fantasy football team for years, and man, he probably had maybe
Not a fantasy guy.
yeah.
You gotta wait for the playoffs.
Not
You know?
Yeah, if we were only doing the playoff fantasy, then he'd be the guy. But I mean, it was rough. I remember one season, I was like, I'll get a quarterback, in the later rounds, and it was Eli Manning. I'm like, oh yeah, this is it. He won the Super Bowl. Oh dude, it was bad, man. And here's what even sucks even more is that it was between him and Jay Cutler, because I'm a homer. And I'm like, dude, pick your poison. Both were equally horrible. it's like, man.
Eli though, is the guy never got hurt.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and honestly, like, if you look at Eli, right? Eli, I would say that fade he used to throw to Plaxico Burress was probably the cleanest fades anyone has ever done, even going between his brother and Marvin Harrison. I think that fade route he used to throw to Plaxico Burress, that was like unguardable, and he threw it at the same exact spot every single time. What happens? Plaxico goes to the club, shoots himself in the leg. It's just could have been
They
something.
could have been a dynasty, man.
Yeah, they could have been something
Yeah.
really, really great. And so when he shot himself in the leg, it's like, really, dude? Like, what?
Come on.
Yeah.
You're
You
rich
can
enough
afford
to.
security.
Yeah, you can afford security. And why are you not even gonna put the safety on? You're gonna put it inside your pants. It just.
He's wearing sweatpants too.
Yeah. Nice,
Can't post their
nice and
gun in there.
secure, you know.
You can't put a gun in sweatpants.
It's just,
Who
he's a
goes to the
college
club in
educated.
sweatpants, though? Really? That's.
Yeah, it's kind of just like, wow. So we're approaching about 30 minutes onto the recording. I got a couple more questions for you guys. So now we talked about football, we talked about the Yankees. What are your thoughts on the Knicks roster, on the Knicks team in general? Like, I feel like the Knicks have kind of just, I don't want to say that they aren't taking it serious, but I kind of just feel like the Knicks are just not really. I don't know. What do you guys see out in New York? Do you feel like they're trying to get a good team, or do you kind of feel like they're just going into their emotions? Like, last year Julius Randle was kind of showing up, and then this year it kind of like was like, it was like a completely different team this year. Different mentality. I don't know. What do you guys feel about that?
Pat, you're the big Knicks guy. I'll let you.
All right. So, I think what they're doing is better than what they've done in the past, where like Obi Toppin, RJ's a stud. You got Quickly, Grimes. Like, you have a nice core of young players. As long as you keep them, and then eventually they have to just gel one year, and then you can attract a bigger star. Like, obviously we know, like, Julius Randle isn't the number one. He just happened to overperform his expectations, and he got paid. But by the time that contract's done, we should be looking at push, like, getting over the hump for the big guy.
Okay, so how do you feel about Tom Thibodeau as your coach? I had him in Chicago for years, and I will tell you that I didn't like him because he never has faith in his bench, and he grinds your starters to make sure they play like 37 minutes a game, and it's kind of like, dude, really? Like, for instance, go back to the playoffs, Derrick Rose. I don't know if you guys remember, Derrick Rose was on the verge of a triple-double. And so instead of being a coach and be like, hey, we're up 11, just pull him out the game, he wanted him to get that triple-double. Gets, jumps up, tears his ACL. Series is history, right? Derrick Rose's career is kind of went to history. So I haven't been following the Knicks the same way, but is he kind of still the same kind of coach that he just grinds your players down and doesn't like relying on the bench?
Yeah, it's pretty much exactly the same. And that grind, like, it works out. Like, it worked out the first year. Like, when you're winning games and you're grinding, like, people will buy into that philosophy. But once you start falling 5-10 games below 500 and you're still like pushing, it's like, all right, man, like, they're people. These are grown men too. They're not gonna just keep working that hard to lose.
Yeah, and that's where it gets a little bit interesting. It just, I'm shocked that it didn't work for him in Chicago. It didn't work for him in Minnesota, and it worked for him, one season. But at what point, how many seasons do you let this coach do the same exact thing that's not working? Where's the upper manager to be like, hey, dude, like,
Well,
can we do a little something different? I'm just saying. Maybe it's just me. I'm no owner of a team, but if I'm paying a guy $1 million to manage my team, and I'm seeing him not letting the other guys that I'm paying millions to play, and they're not playing, I got problems. I got problems with that.
Yeah.
That's just me. So on last note, when it comes to like New York Knicks and all that stuff, are you PCing Obi Toppin now that RJ Barrett and RJ Barrett? Like, are you PCing those guys hard?
RJ for sure.
yeah, RJ.
I think he
He's
can
a lot of RJ.
really. Yeah.
Do you guys have that one player on another team that you're PCing in basketball?
I like Anthony Edwards a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's one guy. See, I have an Anthony Edwards card right here. That's one guy I'm PCing hard because I don't feel like he gets enough credit personally.
Yeah.
And it pisses me off because I have cards of his. So I wish his cards would sell the same thing as LaMelo, right? Like, I wish it would. I think he does more in the league than LaMelo does. But it just sucks that he didn't win Rookie of the Year last year. All that kind of stuff. But you know what, guys? Like I said, I'm approaching a little over 30 minutes on the video. I appreciate you guys taking the minute out of your day, kind of do this interview. We had a lot of for you guys that are watching, we had a lot of technical difficulties prior to getting this thing live, and so it's finally somewhat working out now. But do you guys have any last parting words?
No, I just appreciate you letting us come on, and I love the idea behind this. Just explore the hobby.
Yeah. Seriously, yeah. Thank you very much. It was awesome just talking to you, man. A lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, if you guys ever need anything, but by all means, just reach out to us. I mean, our doors are always open. You guys are on our Discord server. Just shoot us a DM. You got my number. Shoot me a text. Anytime we can help out, let's help each other out. That's the way I've always looked at it.
Not for that.
Yeah, because I don't know everything. You guys don't know everything. No one knows everything. This hobby is forever evolving. Products always evolving. And it's always good to know that we can rely on one another to help each other grow. But I'm going to cut the video off. I'm SC1. This is Anthony and Pat, Gold Coast Cars. Check him out. And you said it's goldcoastcars.com, correct?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. And what's really cool, guys, watching, when you buy into their brakes, their cards come in a little shiny gold envelope.
I think they made the heart.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm SC1. This is Meet the Hobby, guys. Peace out.